So I got back into throwing knives a couple months ago. Has nothing whatsoever to do with anime. You can't prove anything. So I thought it'd be cool to, forge my own no-spin throwing knives, because that's the technique I kind of got into. The ones I originally had were given to me when I was like 16. They were like the Expendables movie, based on movie, whatever the hell you call those things. So, they're the kunai version, which aren't based on real throwing knives. Ignore that. My door keeps blowing open. It's really windy today. So they were cool, when I was 16, but they weren't really that great, especially compared to a lot of the knives I make now. And you can't do no spin with them, which is what I wanted to do. So I ended up, to practice, so I don't look like an idiot when I start making these, I got this cold steel one. It's a little bigger than I want, but I'm going to base my design off of this, just, a little smaller. Yeah, so I was going to do this a couple months ago, but I didn't have the steel. Got the steel, then got busy doing other things, and I'm just not getting around to it. It was originally too cold. Like, it snowed a couple of days ago. I ended up in a ditch. It was not fun. But now it's like 65 out. So, where I live, that's fall. But anyway, enough rambling. I started having these chunks of leaf spring. I just cut them up. No set length, a few inches long. A little thicker, so that's why I didn't make them longer. I'll just show making one, but I plan on making at least two, just so I don't throw one knife and have to go get it like I did for the past couple of months. It was fun. I got a lot of steps. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to chuck these in the forge, thin them out, lengthen them, and of course thin them out to where they're, I'm going to make them that shape. It's pretty simple. My plan, though, is I'm not going to have them smooth like this because I want them to look forged. But that means I'm going to have to be really careful in hammering them so I don't have, like, hammer marks and it's not super rough. And I will, of course, smooth the edges because no spin, you're holding it like this and your finger just slides along that. If there's a sharp edge, you're cutting your finger. I've done that. It's not fun. got the rough forging done on a couple of these. Decided to make 2 just because I had the time and I was just messing around. So I went ahead and made 2 of them. They're already got a decent balance. Let's see if I can... I can't get on my hand very well, just... Yeah, trying to film this. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my... or take my angle grinder, start giving them some shape, make them a little more even and a little more throwing knife-like, I guess. At the very least, make them pointier. And where, you know, they're not so rough on my fingers. So, yeah. So far, it hasn't really taken long to make these. That's what I like sometimes, just simple projects. Okay, now that I have the basic shape done, I've done a bit of throwing with it just to kind of see how it feels. Of course, you want to make sure your edges are sanded or at least filed down to where you don't slit your finger open. But I couldn't get the stick very well, but again, it's pretty wide. But it seemed to throw pretty well. A lot different than the other one I have, but that's to be expected. I'll, take a bit of practice for, homemade stuff. So what I'm going to do now is put a little bit of a bevel on the end of that, similar to what this one has. And I'm probably going to do it about like this is, just a little bit one for the point. It doesn't have to be really sharp. I've seen people complain that throwing knives weren't sharp when they got them, but I mean, this one's a little bit, but you're throwing it against wood, it's not going to stay sharp very long. And this sticks even though the tip broke off. No matter how great a knife is, it doesn't survive hitting a concrete wall very well. So, anyway, go to my angle grinder, again, sharpen, or not really sharpen, but put some bevels on the tip of that. Probably sand it down a little bit, just to, make it a little more even and not, serrated. Then I'm going to go to the forge and heat treat it. And for that, I'm going to do similar to with the grinder, just kind of heat treat just kind of the tip of it. I've heard a lot of people talk about throwing knives. If you use too hard of steel, it just breaks on impact. So if you just leave the back of it soft, it doesn't, shatter. And this is, of course, spring steel, so it's probably a lot tougher than most carbon steels. So a little bit better for this purpose. But, yeah, it's actually coming along pretty quick, and I have another one I'm working on, too. Ignore that other knife in the background. It's not a throwing knife. So, I was editing this video together and realized that I hadn't actually made not really the outro, but just kind of the ending where I kind of show what I've done before I do the final, whatever the hell you want to call that. But anyway, these are the throwing knives. Again, just made a couple of them. Took a bit to figure out how to throw them. Like the little test I saw at the beginning, you have no idea how long that took. Plus, I forgot how much forged steel looks like autumn leaves. So, yeah, that was fun when you lose one. But anyway, fun project, nothing to do with the anime, can't prove shit. And, yeah, throwing knives. They're a lot of fun. I forgot how much fun they were. I hope you enjoyed. That's time to work on some other stuff. Like the 2 other projects I'm currently working on.